Hello, everybody. My name is Roxtus,
And I'm Soulgale.
and welcome back to Warframe.
Woo!
War, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. We have been working on some performance changes, so hopefully things run smoother. Hopefully things look a lot better. Especially, I went back through everything. I went back through recording quality. I went through stream quality. So I'm just kind of like did a full kind of go over and made sure everything looked good and everything was going to run properly,
Yeah.
which took a while. So that's
Yes,
why
it
there
did.
hasn't been one in today, because I was noticing, oh, there are some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I am going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and pop into Temple. So Temple, we did, while we were doing some checks and making sure everything was going right, we actually went ahead and farmed Temple. It actually doesn't take that long.
It did not actually take that long, to be honest.
And then there's also one thing I really wanted to touch up on, and it's just kind of, systems and what is and what isn't. So we'll kind of go over a
Yeah.
little bit of that as well within this. And we're looking red, apparently.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently. Oh, now we're back in the yellow.
Alright.
Because I can see what's actually happening, and we don't have, like, the greatest internet, but
No, we don't.
I'm waiting. I'm sitting in my back.
I'm switching to Trinity.
Ah, I'm so fast. Now we're back in the green. Now we're back in the green. It just completely just depends on network provider at this point.
Yeah.
So what we've got is what we got. Is I'm not complaining there. But I got it to where it looked really, really good for things.
Oh, yeah.
So hopefully it's just an initial edge to get it going, and then after that it'll start tapering down there. But yeah, this was actually fun.
It wasn't bad. Actually, it was fun. Hey, I found pizza.
Pizza!
Pizza.
Shout out to all those freedom fighters listening on mobile voice radio. I know you can hear us.
I really like it when he says, hey, thanks for the security.
Yeah.
I love that. And you can see I did my Volt build.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten.
Nope. Alright, he's not taking a lot of damage, so that's fine for right now. Kind of like the music too.
Music's great. Yeah. I like how the speakers, they do that EMP every so often.
Oh yeah.
This is great too, because like I always enjoy new content.
Oh yeah.
This is great.
This sonic onslaught. You want to help Holvania when you couldn't even help your bandmates. Trying to get under my skin? You of all people should know that my skin is much thicker than it used to be.
Speed
Oh,
up
yeah.
your recovery.
We are green.
All right.
I don't want to jinx it though. So
No, don't jinx it.
Did you find out a big bite pizzas?
Let some flair.
I found one pizza.
Release the screen. Smash it, shake it, kill it, break it, crush it, take it.
I love how I can do 3 well of lives.
Yeah, the update for Trinity is really, really good.
Oh yeah.
Just the change in the abilities, so it's a little bit more consistent. And you're not having to press as many abilities as often as you have to. That really does help.
Oh yeah. And it keeps him nice and healthy. I need to get this Termina up.
All right. And I love the second phase. So if you haven't played this, I'm not going to spoil it for you. So the second phase is even better. I like it.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. Yeah, so that is Temple. We went ahead and we farmed that. Unfortunately, we didn't do the whole thing on stream. But again, we were having some streaming issues. So I was just making sure that everything was getting connected and everything was working actually fine. So that is what it is. But however, the one thing I wanted to kind of niche on and kind of like, okay, here we go again. I gotta say some really good positives though. I like that they're adding in the new proto frames. I like that they're adding in Frost, Saran, Nova, and of course Temple. New content is always really, really good.
It failed.
When
It failed.
it
To join.
failed,
Yep.
it failed.
There
So
we go.
new content is really, really good. Like Nova, Temple, anything new is really, really good. But when you are looking at like, and of course new weapons too. New weapons are really, really good. So of course you have Riot is the new weapon, Mars, Perjurator, a Temple as well. This is really, really good. But again, like I say with frames, when you're taking like just mag base and you're going mag prime, all it is we're gonna change how the Warframe appears, what the Warframe's skin is, what the exterior looks like. We're not changing anything other than that. And then of course with the prime they add on some different stats. But other than that, it's basically just a reskin of the actual Warframe. So there's not a whole lot that changes. Well, same thing here when you're looking at some of these.
Yeah.
My goodness, my phone is blowing up. I don't even know where it's at. I'm not even going to pay attention to it. So, yeah, there's just like Coda Meyer. They have Coda Hiroduro. You have the Coda Synapse. They have all these weapons that have already existed. And they, instead of just saying like, hey, let's make a new weapon and do something unique. Oh, we're just going to put Coda in front of it. Now these weapons are basically what you'd call as a Lakuva Lich weapon or its twin sister's weapon. And you have to put 5 form behind it. I do not like this because of how time consuming Forma is to have to put on a weapon.
Yeah.
I would rather have you reintroduce new weapons and even like do an AK Magnus. Like, there's skins, but there's a difference between skins and dual wielding, or creating another different type of environment. Like, especially if you use pistol in one hand and then you can use a glaive in the other hand. That is super, super cool. So I like that. But again, when you're just adding on a different initial at the very start of the name of a weapon and you're just going, oh, it's a different type of weapon, it gets kind of annoying, especially too, like instead of 5 forma, why not 10 forma? Why not 20 forma? Why not 30 forma and make the level go up instead of 40, make it go up 60 or 80 or, you're just wasting time at that point. It's just a reskin. You're just wasting my time at that point, and that's where I just really kind of draw the line here. It's just a reskin. If you're going to just add in the skin, just add in the skin. But for the weapon to just have, you know, huge amounts of forma, it's just, I mean, there is something to do. I will give it that. But again, like, it's just like, the forma. Because I've done the Kuva weapons before, and I've done all the sister weapons, all the Kuva weapons. So it just, to me, it just takes so long to actually do that. So that's something I can say is a negative. The big positive, I can see the new stuff that is coming in, it's rolling in. That's great. But again, a lot of this kind of negative where it's just like, it's really, really bad. And then they just came out with this, and I don't like this at all either. But it's on the events, and it's for the wolf hunt. And you basically can get the sledgehammer for just doing the mission. And the same thing I would even say for if you log in during certain events and certain times, that they'll just give you, like, I believe it was Frost Prime or Trinity Prime right up. Like, all you have to do is log in and they just give you the frame.
Yeah.
For just, and it's like, you know, those things were vaulted or, you know, whatever. And I had to work hard to actually get those things. And then here they are. It's just like, oh, back pocket. Here you go. Here's another one of those.
Well, they also give you Steinax as well.
Yeah. And it's just like, why? Because, you know, players that have played this game for forever know it's like, hey, I spent time and I worked hard to actually get that. And you're just handing it out. And same thing here. Like, we had to use wolf beacons. So if you don't know, for the sledgehammer, there's this way to get it, which is available now. You can go ahead and farm this, and you'll get all the parts 100% guaranteed, which is really annoying.
Yeah.
Because why not lead with this? Why? You know, it's just it becomes annoying because if you're looking at this, it really is annoying, especially if you've played the game for a longer period of time, and you know, and it's like, hey, that took me forever to get, and now you're just handing it out now. I could have just waited until this moment. Why are you doing that now?
Yeah.
You know, because I could have saved myself, 6 hours of farming versus, hey, you just give it to me, you know? It makes no sense. So with Nora's Creed, I believe it's like every so often that you'll get 50 Creed per these levels as well. But going beyond 30, you can actually go beyond 30. And per additional level, you'll get 15 bonus Creed. In the Creed offerings, they had a wolf beacon, which is not currently here, I don't believe. But I believe it does rotate into it, I believe.
It does.
So, like, you'll get the Stalker beacon, Zanuka beacon, or you'll get the wolf beacon. The wolf beacon innately just spawns the Wolf of Saturn 6, and you can kick him out and kill him, and you'll be able to get all the parts for the wolf sledgehammer. However, they're at a drop rate, so they're at a 10% chance drop rate for, I believe, 2 of the parts, and then the other 2 parts are like 38% drop chance, which is actually really, really annoying because how long it actually takes to get like one level. Like, one level is 10,000, so you have to get like 2 of these, maybe 3, and it could take you a while because, especially if you're beyond the end here, you're only getting 15 Creed per day. It's not like 50, and even at 50, you have to level it 3 times to even get to 50.
Yeah.
Creed. So beyond here, it's like, okay, per level at a 10,000 standing, you're only getting 15 Creed. Well, it takes 4 of those. At 3, it's 45. So you have to take 5 out of your last 15 to make 50. So you have to farm it 4 times to be able to get enough standing to be able to get that beacon, right? And then when you get the beacon, you're not guaranteed the drop. It's at a 10% rate.
Yeah.
So for us, and especially, like I said, per level, it takes a long, long time. So some of these give more, some of these give less. But again, it's a weekly refresh. So per week, you might be able to get 1 wolf beacon. So if we're in tandem, and we're just going to both go for it, we're going to spend our entire week just getting 2 wolf beacons to just pop both of them. And especially at that 10% chance, I believe it's 11% chance to get that 1 wolf beacon. it just becomes annoying. So this is basically the same thing as Archon shards. If you haven't watched, what's his name? Kinetic Engineer on Archon shards, this is just such a big problem because there is just no workaround. And to see this, where they're just handing it out now, and it's just like, here, come one for all and come and get it. It's just like, I worked hard to get this. I believe for the last part, though, we didn't work hard for it because we just bought it because we were so tired. It was like literally weeks on weeks on weeks and hours on hours. And we were just like, we're just going to buy it. And here it is. And it's just like, here you go. It's a free wolf sledge.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. So I'm just gonna kind of knock on that, and I'm gonna kind of give a blanket statement. I don't know how accurate or inaccurate, but I'm just gonna kind of go like base Warframe farms. So things I enjoy about chance versus guarantee. So when you're thinking about chance versus guarantee, you're thinking about chance is a percent drop chance that something actually happens. Guaranteed is guaranteed. It's if I take something and I do something, I get this in return. Guaranteed is 100%. There's no ifs and or buts about it. You just get it back. Versus a percent chance is a percent chance. It's what I actually consider, on one hand, it's a currency. It's given. It's given. On the other hand, it's a chance. If it's a chance for loss. It's a chance for failure. So I actually call chance loss at that point. Because if you really think about it, every time that you're running that chance, every time that you run that chance and you don't get that item, it's considered a loss.
Yeah.
Because you didn't achieve what you wanted to do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not given, it's loss. So one of the easiest examples I could do of that is actually Warframe Market. Same thing as if I played Singed. Singed I really, really like because you can go up to a marketeer or a shop, open up the shop, find an item and buy it. Same thing in Dark Souls. There are shops, and then there's also, of course, they also have chance in there as well. Whereas like, I believe it was the Sorcerer Mage on Elden Ring had the Stone Club for a 4% drop rate. I took forever to get that weapon. But in here, when you're specifically looking at weapons, this is a guarantee. I can go into this shop, I can find a weapon, and I can purchase that weapon. It is not a percent chance drop. It is 100% I can come in here and buy it. Mm-hmm. And I love that. I really, really love that. Being able to actually work hard, get all the parts that I need for something, and being able to buy it and build it. This is basic. This is just simple. I love shops. Shops are great. So this is a given. This is a guaranteed. If you come here, you buy it, you're done. And it doesn't waste a lot of your time. Chance is a chance for loss. And in terms of loss, you could spend, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. And, it could be 2 hours. It could be an hour. And you get the item. It could be infinite time, and you could never get the item. So especially when I talk about like the Leto Vandal and the Bratton Vandal at a 2% drop rate. So here's some things about chance that it really depends on what chance is and what's good chance and what's bad chance. And, there's all the technical data, everything. Here's one drop that I really, really like. That's really consistent. And that's really, really good for a chance drop. Any base Warframe is a good drop. So if I go to series or wherever, I'm going to farm, let's say, Frost. Equinox is actually kind of decent, not that bad. But again, like I can see there's some pains there. Rhino, Mag, any base Warframe, generally speaking, they're at a 38, 22 drop chance. Those are good. You can still have bad chance where it's like, oh, I have to do 10 runs, 20 runs to be able to get the systems. But again, like it's a decent run. So in that term, that chance is good. But chance is dependent on two things. One is what the chance is and how low the chance of drop is. So if the chance of drop is really, really low, it can be really, really hard to obtain the item because the chance of drop is really, really low. That's kind of given. The second item is how many times that you can actually proc that chance in seconds, time, minutes, how long, until I can actually proc that chance. So when you're looking at something like the Bratton Vandal at a 2% drop rate, and I believe it's like 20 minutes or 10 minutes to get one drop, it'll take forever to be able to get that item at a 2% drop rate, right?
Yeah.
Whereas, let's say on the opposite end, when they increased the amount of sentinels or sentience in
Sentience.
Warframe, the Broken War is also at a 2% drop rate. However, the drop proc chance, how many times you can proc that drop chance, is increased because when you're looking at something like the Broken War at the same chance at a 2%, because you can just keep on killing sentients again and again and again and again, every time that you get one kill equals a chance for that item to drop. So because you're upping the amount of times that you can actually proc that chance, you get that chance way, 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 way more often.
Yeah.
So you're more guaranteed to actually get that item than not to. So that's chance. And on the other hand, it's just given. It's just a sum. It's just a flat rate. If I kill someone, I always get credits. I always get, something as long as it's 100% chance to drop. And that's something that I really don't like about chance. And that's something I don't like in games about chance because one really, really good example is I was trying to actually farm the Aristocrats headband.
Mm-hmm.
It's at a 0.5% drop rate.
Oh, jeez.
I was thinking originally it was the Commoner's Altered headband at 1.5%. No, it was actually the Sorcerers, Noble Sorcerers in Elden Ring, and it's their Aristocrats headband at a 0.5% drop rate. And I was farming that for forever because the Noble Sorcerers are really hard to find. So I found a spot, and I believe there's only 4 Noble Sorcerers. And I finally did get it, but it was like hours later. So again, chance is never guaranteed. If you have a chance, kind of like the same thing with Archon shards, or even, to some extent, you could even say, it just depends. But like Xiphos, we never got the Xiphos. So we've only
No.
seen one super rare reinforced crate from Lua. Super, super rare.
Yeah.
Super, super rare. And we've pretty much never seen it. 8 years I've been playing this game. I've only found one. So chance, I'm just going to say, just kind of as a blanket statement for systems, chance is never really a good thing for a system. But again, I do kind of see the appeal for chance. That chance, even for Warframe, I see it's applicable for Warframe. It's okay for Warframe to actually have chance, especially like base Warframe farms where it's 38, like I said, 38% chance, and the 22% chance for systems. That's fine. That's great. That's good. But especially when you get to more obscene numbers, where it's, you have less proc rate and you have less drop chance, and it gets to be longer and longer and longer farms, it gets to be
Yeah.
really, really annoying. So again, coming back to the top, I really like guaranteed drops. I really like stores. I really like just having the system so it's not hard to obtain anything. I like being able to get through the game pretty easily and not waste a lot of time. Chance, I don't view chance as a very good system because, again, it only takes bad luck, and there's going to be a John Arbuckle.
Yep.
There's just going to be a John Arbuckle, and you're just going to be looking at that, and you're going to be going, okay, well, now we're going to have to add in secondary systems to have either a pity system or something to be able to bring back people so that they can be able to get items. And especially when I see this and they just drop stuff, it really just upsets me to even begin with. Where
Yeah.
they just, here's this. I worked hard for that. What is wrong with you? It's like, hey, I spent my entire life, getting this one item or whatever it is, and you're just gonna, give it away to a child as a birthday present.
Yeah.
I worked hard for that, and that almost is just an insult. It really is. So again, I don't appreciate chance drops. I like just being able to get items, and that's kind of ridiculous. Now, why I wanted to bring Temple in to start with was actually for a really, really good reason. was because when you're actually looking at the drop tables and everything, and I do all the math behind this. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
are John Arbuckle and you absolutely get none of Temple's parts and you have to go the long route, it's going to take you 8 hours to farm the full Warframe. 8 hours. Just
Wow.
saying that you're John Arbuckle. Okay. If you're really, really bad. And I mean, maybe you can get 1 and 2 parts. And I believe that you should be able to get 1 or 2 parts. Easy. But again, I kind of look at that kind of with my eye at the side of my eyeball. And I'm just kind of like, is it really a good idea to have a 1%, 2%, and a 4.6% drop rate when you can have a John Arbuckle? And, we spent, I believe, almost 3 hours doing that farm.
Yeah.
And we got the parts pretty readily. But I wouldn't say it's too far out that someone could take 6 hours to do that farm. Okay.
No, yeah.
And this is just saying light, because when you're looking at Temple, you're looking at the maximum time of 8 hours. I've done the math behind Varuna. Varuna is a 16-hour farm. You can sit there, and if you don't get anything, you're sitting there for 16 hours. When's Varuna going to drop? Because when you're looking at the chance, you disregard the chance. You're looking at the raw drops of, in this case, Temple's beating heartstrings. And in Varuna's case, you're looking at the Luothrax that actually drops. And the drop rate and the price per each of those units and being able to purchase all those units, it's way more increased for Varuna than it is for Temple. Temple has less drop chances for his parts. Varuna has more. But for Varuna, it's per every other wave. So that's getting a little bit more technical into like how drops and everything are done. But again, for Temple, for Varuna, for Citrine, for Dante, for Cora, I could go down a list. We can even go to the Lato Vandal, Bratton Vandal, Zyphos, even to the point of even Souls games, Dark Souls 3, when you're doing, I believe it's the Iron Shield in the very first part. It's a 2% drop rate. There's only 5 units that actually drop that shield. You could be farming that for forever.
And you got it twice in a row, didn't you?
Yeah, I just did a recent one where I had really, really good luck and I got it twice in a row. But that doesn't forgive a 2% drop chance.
No.
Because if you're John Arbuckle, you could be there for 2 hours, 3 hours, trying to get the same thing again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing for the Aristocrat's headband in Elden Ring. At a 0.5% drop rate. That is really, really ridiculous. And if someone wants to be able to get that headband and they want to, let's say, start their game over and get that headband again, they're going to be sitting there for quite a few hours just trying to get something that they should be able to get within, let's say, 15 minutes. It is not hard to just have a shop, have all the items available, or have most of the majority of items available so that a player isn't wasting a whole bunch of time trying to get a part, especially if you have a chance drop. Just have a shop. And especially for time, have the shop considerable to time where the time isn't like 8 hours or 16 hours at that point. Have it be like an hour or 90 minutes.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good because it's an hour and a half and you're done. And when something takes a very, very long time, it actually is kind of irksome because I have other things to do in my day. Other people have other things to do in their day. And chance is essentially at its core actually a waste of time.
Yeah.
Especially if you actually look at, and I'm going to mention it again because it is kind of a pretty good point on it. But I'm going to mention again Kinetic Engineer with Archon Shards. And I think he did a really good job of nailing it. He did a really good... So if you haven't watched it, I would go and watch it. It was on Archon Shards. But again, there is a good point to chance. If you have a good chance is a good chance. Okay, I'm not going to be like, oh, chance is an absurd system. It shouldn't exist. Chance can exist where it can exist. Like in base Warframe drops, I appreciate that. I like the 38, 38, 22. I like that. But when you're looking at something that takes forever, I really don't like it. And it really depends, again, what the chance is and all the technicalities around chance. What the chance minimum is and how low you're going to go with that number and how often you can actually proc that chance. And again, with just if you have a Jarn Arbuckle and if you don't have luck and if you don't have any good luck with anything, you're going to have a really, really hard time on just being able to get anything. So I don't like to get into like a deep tone as much as I have just now. But again, when you're playing a game and you're thinking about systems and you're thinking, okay, well, is it a chance drop or is it a given drop? That can actually kind of play a big role on which games that you kind of teeter towards and which games you don't really as much.
Yeah.
And chance is one of those things where it's like sometimes it's acceptable and other times it's just kind of like, I don't like you. I don't like. So there is Temple there for you. I definitely dove into the numbers there, and I did a little bit more math on what happens if you just bad luck, and I wanted to kind of get on that. Especially I've done Varuna, I believe, before, and I believe I've done Citrine before, and I believe Dante as well.
Yeah.
And some of these farms can be ridiculous, and I get prime farming where prime farming takes time, but for a basic Warframe that is not a prime, it does not need to have super high farm time. I'd rather you stick with a 22, 38, 38 than to give these really obscene numbers for a basic Warframe.
Yeah.
I am acceptable of the prime having a super high farm time because it gives you something to do, it gives you void traces, and you can just kind of enjoy the farm. But again, like even to some point, it is kind of difficult to farm those prime Warframes, but I can kind of get where DE is coming from for the prime. But for the base Warframes, I don't see where you need to have such high farm times. So I'm just going to leave it there. Again, for a system, currency is always going to be, for me, greater than chance. If you're going to have a system, I'd rather have currency versus chance. And if I have chance in a game, I want to see an acceptable chance where I'm not having to take too long to be able to get it. And of course, it's going to depend on those two conditionals, what the chance is and how often I can actually proc that chance. Yeah. And that's going to determine how long I'm going to be spending on time to be able to get that item. So yeah, I'm just going to get away from that because otherwise I just start going into numbers and I just have a heyday. But yeah, that's just me though. I like numbers. I like actually kind of going, is it actually probable? Is it a good idea to do this? Is it a bad idea to do this? But yeah. And we got a sabotage.
In 15 seconds.
In 15 seconds, yeah. But I just wanted to touch on that because I really enjoy Warframe, and I look at some things and I go, hey, you know what? It's not a detriment to the game, but again, like, I want to see some improvements wherever I can see improvements. All right, so we are looking for 4 last relics that we need at D9.
Yeah.
And I got 3 of those.
I have 1 D9 and 1 C6.
I know that's kind of going on a tangent, but again, like, some of these things, it's like, oh my goodness. I could go on forever. I'm sure.
Yeah. Are you on public?
Yes.
Okay. And then I only have enough to Radiant 1.
And here's where weapon slots come into handy.
Yes.
And we got 1 hour till Zeku. But yeah, that's all that I was kind of thinking about. Because I've been replaying Elden Ring a little bit, just making sure everything's running fine, and Dark Souls as well, just to make sure everything looks good. And just like, yeah, you can come back to some of those games and go, why is there a drop chance? Because it takes so long to get back into the game, just being able to play the game, just because the drop rate for something is just obscene. And maybe there's reasons for that, maybe they don't want it to drop as often or as, but again, like if it's just supposed to be an offline game, it kind of gets annoying.
Yeah.
Actually, the same thing for Nier Automata. The Nier Automata is actually kind of one of those where it's like you play through it, and then at the very end, you're supposed to delete your game, and they have pod chips. That's something I can never get over either.
No.
Why do you
'cause
have pod chips in a game that at the very end you're just going to delete the game anyway? And why do you have a farm within a game that you're supposed to delete anyway?
Yeah.
To me, that makes no sense.
No.
I like the perma farm of Warframe because it's permanent. You keep whatever you keep. But when you reset the game and you lose all pod chips, it's like, okay, well, I spent 8, 10 hours, 20 hours doing this. You know, farming my pod chips.
Yeah.
What was the point of that? I should have just played the game, ignored the pod chips. But they include pod chips in the game. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Sometimes I don't understand people. I just don't.
No.
I don't think you ever will, though. Because some people just end up making no sense whatsoever. I've had some of those conversations before.
Target found. Destroy it. Target destroyed. Proceed to the extraction point.
I found a way.
I really like Warframe, though, especially Permanent Farm.
Yeah.
Because even for the drop rates and drop chances, even for like Radiant Relics and everything else, I agree that's acceptable. But again, like, oh yeah, Temple, you know, like 3 hours, I would have loved it to just be like any other basic Warframe, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it was any other basic Warframe, that would actually be nice. If it was just back to the basic Warframe drops, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe even engineering, you know, another boss, you know? That would be awesome. Not something like the Ambulance, but
Oh, I did not like the
no,
Ambulance.
especially with the rework they did, it takes 10 minutes to do what you could do in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It just, it delays the whole game. It slows the whole game down. It's like, this is supposed to be Warframe. We're supposed to be ninjas. We're supposed to be bouncing around and doing things and not paying attention to anything. And we're sitting here and we're looking at an Ambulance straight in the face for 10 minutes. Why am I looking at Ambulance for 10 minutes?
I don't know.
Yeah. That to me does not make any sense. It's like, I should be able to kill the boss and be an assassin, like in Assassin's Creed. I'm going to take the forma.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's more of me. I just, yeah. I should stop talking now.
Excellent work, General.
Yes. Stop talking. With all this math.
Yeah. I'm sure if I made my own game, then I would just be like, oh, I'm going to make everything magnificent. It's going to be perfect.
Yes.
But again, like for Warframe, for what it is, it's really, really good. Okay, we are out of those. And we have a spine excavation.
I have a D9.
I'm saying for missions.
Oh.
Yeah.
No more missions.
No more missions. But again, let's go ahead and play through this wolf hunt, because I want to definitely just kind of like show that, because it's a guaranteed drop. It is not.
Okay.
It is not to the point of maybe it's a chance to get it, or maybe not. Also, we have the new Mars weapons as well, so I gotta claim those.
I have to wait for mine, but I'm using the Termina Prime right now.
And Temple. I forgot to start Temple.
I started him yesterday.
Oh boy. Don't tell me that.
Yes, I started him yesterday.
And the main thing is growth. Is just, especially when you're playing Warframe, just to try to get as many different weapons or different Warframes on your table all at the same time as you can, and level them all to 30. try to just level them all to 30. Even if you don't like the weapon and you end up just kind of tossing it anyway, get it to 30 because that affects your overall mastery rank.
It does.
And then as soon as you're done with the weapon, then go ahead and throw it in the trash can. So that's kind of like a good 80%, maybe 70% of the game is like, oh, I don't like this. I'm going to go ahead and toss it.
Yeah.
Because like certain weapons, you know, you don't like. Certain weapons need to be buffed. I can definitely see that.
Hmm.
Yeah, you look at the Bratton, anything like that, it could definitely be buffed. We're going to go back to Holovania because I need to get more parts. I believe we have enough pizzas.
Yes, I've already done my daily standing, and I have to wait for it to reroll.
Yeah. I can grab a few more parts though, I'm sure.
I have 44,000, but I'm gonna
Good to
wait.
see you, friend. Let's see what you got.
Let us see your weapons, Saran. Because if I wait a little bit, I can get both of these.
Super. Not bad. Bring you anytime.
Alrighty. And then who's got the parts? It's Frost and Saran.
Dear diary.
Yes.
What'll take Victor's troops on with their
Okay.
arsenal?
Gosh, now I don't know what I have and what I don't have.
You need to think about what we're going to offer Nessie if you ever want to get her back.
She had
What you have and what you don't have?
Yeah. I think
What do you
that's it.
suppose made her want that so bad?
Just start from the top down. Yeah.
Beckett. Great. Later.
I ran out of standing.
And this is why I'm waiting to grab all the parts.
Just to make sure you have everything and not duplicates.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hello, little maggot prime. You're so cute.
Oh boy.
What?
I forgot what I have and what I don't have. I am terrible. Purgerator. That's what the new one is.
Well, it should tell you with a check mark on what you have and what you don't have.
Apparently I bought another extra barrel.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it doesn't really actually do a good job on that, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it does for the blueprint, but not the main components.
Not the main components. Oh boy. It
Yeah.
had a check mark over the component was fully built, but I got my daily standing. I went ahead and used it, so I'm not going to complain too much, sir. All right. So there is that.
Yeah, I have an affinity booster, so I can level these weapons up quick. Which is lovely.
An hour for Zeku.
I thought you'd want to know.
Let's see.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh. They
What?
added an exclamation. Truman
Yes.
Prime.
Yeah. An hour and 10 minutes for me until Zeku's done.
Well, that should be good.
Yeah.
For action.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't really complain all that much about games.
Do you see anything interesting?
I hope.
I see.
But yeah, especially when something sticks out like a sore thumb. And it's just like, that's just not a good idea for a game.
These help you.
No.
This help your journey.
It kind of irks me. Kind of irks me to go, oh, that's not a really good idea. Oh, yeah. Okay, I want to do these.
Do what?
The wolf missions.
Ah, yes.
And Byrocketeer is almost here.
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah.
Even though
Especially,
he's very expensive.
yeah. Especially with shops, though. I really enjoy a game with shops.
Seek and destroy.
What, you didn't want my speed booth?
I do.
Well, you know, you're too
Actually, I
fast?
don't really need the speed booth. I'm so fast.
Well,
Ah,
do I have to change into something else?
I'm fine if you wanna be
Oh,
him.
it's really good for
I forgot.
relic farms, especially if we get more on the squad.
Yeah.
Oh, really? So
I
did they
do-
just bring back the Saturn 6 missions?
I don't have a melee weapon
Why do you not have a melee weapon?
because I'm doing the Termina.
Oh.
And I want to level it up.
You're soloing that, yeah?
Yeah.
I just put it on the side. What is wrong with the door? We need
Open
one
this
more
door.
person.
They're at the other side of the door.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You sure they're not out here?
No, they're at the other side of the door.
What the? Huh.
Is there something down here? Like a switch or something?
I'm confused.
I am as well.
It says attackers, so we need to get one more person. And it has to be on this side of the door. Is it bugged?
I hope not. I'm getting really tired of things being bugged.
Yeah. Oh gosh, where is the tunnel? Here's the tunnel. But that's just straight back. What the? Do you have an AoE ability that can reach the door?
Not that huge of an ability.
Even if it's somewhat large. See if I can't clip the ceiling somewhere and get to the other side. There have been instances where you can actually find ceiling textures that aren't barriered off and you can actually go through the ceiling. So you can end up on other portions of the map.
Yeah.
Watch yourself. Grenier are on the way.
Oh, really? How'd you do it?
I used my ability twice, a lot of times actually.
Yeah, and then it finally took him out.
And then it finally did it. Oh.
Well, okay, well that's pretty bad unless you have something good. Man, I need Trinity for this one.
Yes, apparently.
I did actually find that really annoying in Nier Automata
Yeah.
with the pod ships. See, this reminds me of Let Krill.
Yeah.
Now that I'm actually thinking about it. Crushing Rune is such a good stance too.
Yeah. Alright.
Did we get it?
I think so. Oh, I'm almost done.
Mission contract complete. Great work, Tenno.
I'm at 25.
Especially for later. I don't know if the parts are tradable or not. I believe they are.
I think they are tradable.
Yeah, especially for later. Let's say if someone new joins, it's like, why not have the extra parts? You know? Because if this event only lasts for a month or whatever, you can find people that come on after that and they're more so just kind of interested in playing the game than
Yeah.
anything else, and maybe they want the wolf sledge. You do not want to be fighting an uphill battle with that.
Great work,
No.
So having these extra parts is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Let me guess. So I'm going to get an email from Lotus, and she's going to tell me, oh, here's this part,
Yes.
which I'm going to take it.
Tenno, the balance of power continues to
Inbox
shift. Navigation
message.
is marked with new invasions.
Nightwave.
You know, this would be fixed with a higher drop rate,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe just like having an actual way to get it that's consistent, like maybe having the wolf be a part of the map.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
That would be lovely.
Why not just have him here and we can just keep... Why do you have to have a wolf beacon? It's the same thing also with the stalker. It's like, why do we have to have a stalker beacon?
Do you
Why
want to
can't-
do Trinity? Or do you want me to do Trinity?
I'll do Trinity. I forgot about that.
Okay.
Why can't we just have, like, you know, stalker have a higher drop rate or something, you know? Why have a stalker beacon?
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see.
Because stalker is pretty rare unless you have all bosses on you.
Yeah.
Like, there is some issues I've got with those two. But again, like, it's all related to drop chances. At this point, that's kind of the main thing that you're kind of fighting against. Again, though, like the base market, this is lovely. This is
yeah.
wonderful. Like, I remember going through and getting every single weapon that I could out of the market and leveling them all up and taking the time. And, you know, dual ether I thought was pretty good and pretty cool. And then I got the weapon, I was like, oh, it sucks. And then because it looks like a glass sword, you know?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But again, like, you come back to it and you go, oh, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know the coolest looking weapon in this game that I think is?
What?
Jaw sword.
Ah, the
One of
jaw
the
sword.
one of the worst weapons in the game. Oh, but I like how it looks. You just can't use it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could use it, but I mean, you could spend hours trying to play the game that way. I don't think I want to play the game that way. I think I want to play the game and actually get through the game. Man, I'm tanky. I'm so tanky. Where did that Wolfie go?
He went down.
Oh yeah. See,
This one has a larger range.
Trinity's just so good. That's the thing I don't like about Volt is he has no stability at all. He just ups people's speed. It's more for light farming or anything else like that. He has his tool. He's pretty useful for that, but
Yeah.
beyond that, not really. Like if you're
This
trying
is,
to survive, yeah.
This is Tyler Rager.
Yep.
Hello, Tyler Rager.
But why not make, you know, the Wolf of Saturn, it's obviously a boss. Why not make him have his own auditorium, you know?
Yeah.
His own theatrical theater. His own stage, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I love that these are upside down
Down the VIP. Now get to extraction.
containers. That's pretty cool.
Well, you were so slow.
Yeah. How dare you? How dare you make me slow?
Target down.
I believe these, though, you can only get one per one.
Yeah.
So once you do one, you're just kind of like, that's it. But again, like, seriously, just like, if you have him, what, you know, you made him and all this, you know, like, what's the point of making him if he's not a boss?
The inbox has messages.
Yeah.
Just really, like, if it were me, you got 4 components, do 25, 25, 25, or something like that, and throw him on the map. And then what Warframe is he associated with?
I don't know.
Like, have a Warframe, have him associated with that Warframe, and put the Warframe at, you know, 38, 38, 22. Just do a basic Warframe farm. I love those farms. Those are great. You know?
Mm-hmm.
As I've said before, I believe so, is add in another planet. Expand, grow, do more.
Have Wolf have his own planet.
The VIP
Yeah.
that we're hunting
I
is
miss the Void Derelict, though.
take them out.
It used to be the Void Derelict, now it's Deimos. But really, like, add back in Deimos. Or, to Derelict. Derelict was really fun, really interesting.
Marines
Too many
inbound.
rally bows.
Too many.
I just like the appearance of the Derelict on the map. And
Yeah.
it's been a long so far. It's been here for so long, you know. You could do something different with Deimos. Instead of integrating them both into the same thing, which they're not.
This is Vor.
Yep. Again, we're just using other stages to do the same boss.
Yeah.
Another idea is like Steel Path.
Target down.
Instead of like Steel Path Vor dropping, you know, whatever he drops.
Uh-huh.
Or, you know, like even like dual boss or whatever. Let's say like even to some extent Saran. Kayla Dathame.
Yeah.
Instead of Kayla Dathame dropping what she drops on the Steel Path, the basic would drop on normal, would drop Saran, and then the advanced, the Steel Path variant, would drop something different, maybe a different Warframe. That's an option.
Yeah.
You got options if you want to add in Warframes.
Contract complete. Good work, Nano.
Excuse you.
Excuse me.
But especially these larger bosses and stuff like that. It's like they should really be unique. You should really be adding in more bosses.
Yeah.
So there's all 3 parts. Again, like, this is guaranteed. This is not to the point of chance anymore. You know, and we gave up on this.
Mm-hmm.
So this, to me, is like,
Shall we?
it's a real pain. Instead of having a constant system where everything is acquirable, You just need to take a certain amount of time, which even resources are guaranteed by time.
Yeah.
You can say, hey, it takes you about this much time to actually farm a resource, which is true. It's you know, a static number. You know, maybe it's not, maybe it is. But again, like guaranteed drop chance, even if it is guaranteed and it has a fluctuation, like for some of the drops, it can be from, you know, 11 to 12 or whatever. Yeah, it can fluctuate, but even for that fluctuation, you're going to give a given time, at minimum, of how long it actually takes. Which I believe, to me, is just better than a chance, where the chance could be from, you know, 1 day to infinite time. Like I've said before, infinite time. I think the best example of that is just the rare reinforced crates.
Yeah.
Because we played this for 8 years. I want to see another rare reinforced crate. But yeah. It's funny, I'm not going to talk about it and then I keep on talking about it.
Yeah.
Keep the tangent going.
This is Ember. Yes. Whatever his name was. General?
General Sergeant Struck?
Yep.
Yep. Why not just have him as an extra boss or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, like Mag's boss,
Aw.
the Sergeant?
I'm almost done with my weapon.
Really? See, I just put it in my offhand, I just don't worry about it. I let it level up on its own.
Yeah, I'm at 29.
They make horrible sounds when they die.
I'm still 29. Wait. Alright, let's go.
I really like the EMP. The Kuva Grappler is better though.
Yeah.
They won't be bothering us anymore. Let's get out of here.
I think though, especially when I start coming back to Warframe and I start looking at what Warframe is again, then it's just kind of like I keep on coming back to the same issues, and I keep on seeing the same things, and it's kind of like the game is constant,
Messages for the
you know.
No, I have not read them.
Oh. See, yeah. So we've got the motor was probably the one that we had the trouble with,
I
Which is-
think so.
which is probably one of the 11% drop chances, or something like that.
I don't remember what we had trouble on.
It's probably the motor because
It's probably the motor.
you can see we've got 4 of the handles, 3 of the heads, and only 1 of the motors. So,
Oh, yeah.
and it working catalyst, nice. But again, like you have the Wolf Sledge blueprint, and then you have the Kuva variant,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So Kuva Sledge, where's Sledge?
It was...
Let's do name. Because there's so many different weapons and everything in here.
Oh, I don't have it anymore. I don't think.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Because a lot of it, it's just like, I'm going to take this weapon, I'm going to throw it in the bin.
Yeah, I don't have it anymore.
So you have the Kuva shell dig, which is basically the Wolf's hammer.
Yeah.
But again, like for these weapons, you're using 5 forma to put enough, you know, augment slot on these weapons. And it's just really, really annoying because if you're never going to use the weapon, you know, that is what it is. But like even the Kuva Grappler, it's just a buffed up, reskinned version of the basic Rattler.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then you're using 5 forma for each of these. So each of these, I just, like, further down the line, I just, like, it's just such a waste of time. Because if I'm never going to use the weapon, and I'm only going to be using the weapon to up my mastery rank, that's just such a pain. Rather than adding in something actually useful, or, making a new weapon, or doing something, it should be enjoyable. It should be to the point where everything's enjoyable, everything's usable,
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of coming back down to the Jaw Sword, it's like, Jaw Sword's not usable.
No.
It's in the game. You don't need to add in, a Kuva variant of the Jaw Sword or a Tenet variant of the Jaw Sword. You don't need to add in, what's the new things? The Incarnons to the weapon. What you need to do is change the base stats of the weapon to make the weapon usable
Yeah.
to even begin with. So even something like this, like, yeah, it's acquirable now, but it's only acquirable for 26 days. When those days are up, if someone comes up and they go, hey, I want to get that wolf, well, this is going to be gone. You're going to be left with farming the wolf again.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have big bad boy trouble trying to get this. Talking Jar Jar speak. You're going to have big bad boy trouble trying to get this. Because
Yeah.
this big bad boy is going to be, again, like with the wolf sledge head, I believe is the part we had trouble with. But again, it's going to be 11, 11, 38, 38, and you're going to have trouble with those 11s. And if you have bad luck, if you're going to be John Arbuckle, you're going to have a hard time with it.
Yeah, the motor.
I believe so, yeah.
It was the motor, I think.
It was the motor.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's the same thing with the Tau Forged Archon shards. Same thing with Kinetic Engineer. And this is something I just keep on coming back to. Because it's constant. It's a constant problem that persists.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't go away with just Archon shards. Chance is a loss. If you lose, you could lose longer than just one loss. It can be multiple losses. And the same thing with the Xiphos. We bought the Xiphos, so we just lost on the Xiphos. Same thing with the Bratton Vandal, Lato Vandal. We lost on that. We had to go and buy it. Same thing for the Wolf Sledge. So those are actually things that I would actually say we lost on. There is a pity system for that. We can buy those items back again. But I'm not just going to say, oh, it's just relative to the arc. It's relative to the majority of the system. And especially when you're looking at, Varuna, 16 hours. When you're looking at Temple for 8 hours. It's a persisting problem. Because if you're John Arbuckle, you are going to have that problem. And let's say it's for Varuna versus Temple, right? Varuna, if you're John Arbuckle, versus Temple. Temple's only 8 hours. Varuna's 16 hours. You're going to be sitting there. Your head's going to be getting heavy. You're going to be getting tired. 16 hours. You're John Arbuckle. You're like, when can my pain be over? Something needs to change, and it can't just be, oh, let's just change the chance.
Yeah.
You're not going to change the chance. The chance is always going to be the chance. The main thing is the currency. I see currency getting evolved. Because then you're going to negate the maximum amount of time that is actually required to getting a certain item. Because especially if you're going to be John Arbuckle, you don't want to be sitting there for, large amounts of time. You're going to get bored. You're going to get tired. And your dopamine rush is going to fall off, and you're going to have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with that. And of course, every time that I play Warframe, I come back and I go, here's another farm, because it hasn't stopped with really, Temple. It's been persisting. It's been a persisting problem. It's been Citrine, Varuna, and Temple. I believe there's 6 that I have on my list. One is Korra. And one is Dante. I'm not sure if Dante is the same problem or not. But again, like 3 of those, definitely.
I don't think Dante was that bad.
No, I think Dante was actually pretty decent for what it was. It was like, oh, that's pretty good. Because I believe
Yeah.
the maximum time on that was actually like 5 minutes or something like that. I could look it up and I could give you a definitive number, but I don't want to look it up because then I'm going to end up messing myself over.
Yeah.
Because all my math is on there. I probably actually could look it up. Let me see here. As long as it doesn't go to my main screen. Hold on here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this so you don't see anything. Let's see here, because I have it in my system. Let's see here. I like numbers, like I said.
That you do.
Well, I like more so research. I like testing. I like seeing what things do and how they function.
Mm-hmm.
And if something doesn't work, then I kind of like really pick on it like a scab. And it just when I find a problem, I just keep on picking at it and it just keeps on bleeding. But the main thing is it is a problem and it does keep on bleeding because it's a persisting, in this case, it's a persisting problem. So let's see here. So Dante is one of them. Total necessary requirements is 1,260. Worst case scenario, 5 hours, 41. So Dante was not as bad. 5 hours and 41 minutes. What we got was, we had 360 VCs. We got Dante's blueprint, Dante's chassis, Neuroptics, Onos blueprint, Ruvix glove blueprint, and another Ruvix gloves blueprint. I don't know if those stack or not.
I'm not
Our total
sure.
time, this is impressive. Our total time was 1 hour and 37.5 minutes. So literally an hour, 37 minutes, and 30 seconds.
Wow.
So for Dante, that is impressive. And I want this. I want this. But again, the maximum time that you could spend, if you're John Arbuckle in this case, could be 5 hours and 41 minutes. It's not bad. Because if you get one part or two parts or whatever, it's going to reduce that time significantly.
Yeah.
What are the chances? Chances, 7.5%, 5%, 5%. So those are the chances. Those are the times, everything for Dante. So that's not as bad as something like Temple, where our time was around 3 hours instead of 1 hour and 45 minutes. I believe it was for Dante, whatever it was. It was like an hour. It was not very long. So 3 hours here, and the maximum time that you could be spending is 8 hours. It's around 8 hours. If you're not going to do the scene, though, it'll be down to 7 hours. So again, that's not bad. But again, coming back to Varuna, if the numbers are still the same and they haven't been updated,
Yeah.
total time could be 16 hours and 15 minutes. At a
Hmm.
total of, I'm not sure if these are the totals. I think these are not the totals. Let me double check if these are the totals or not. 500. But no, those are the totals. So 975 Luithrax. And then, of course, this is accommodating as well for the Luithrax needed to actually build Varuna. So it's indenting all of it. It's taking all of it and putting it into one big package. Citrine also is one. Citrine, I'm just running through this very quickly. 8 hours, 31 minutes if you're John Arbuckle. Oh, wait, no. This is an okay scenario.
Mm-hmm.
That's an okay scenario. What is the worst? Do I have worst in here? Let me see if I have worst case scenario. Worst case scenario for Citrine. 17 hours. Wow.
Whew.
That is actually worse than Varuna. I didn't think Citrine was bad.
I didn't think so either.
What was our time?
I don't remember what our time was.
What we had 9 hours and 41 minutes. That's significant. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. For a base Warframe, did they come out with the Citrine Prime?
Not yet.
Citrine Prime will be faster to probably get the Prime than the base. So I don't know why these farms are so high. Jade. Jade's got the same problem. So there's another one. There's 5 out of those 6 that I was talking about.
Jade.
So Jade, worst case scenario is 750 minutes or 12 hours and 30 minutes. So that's kind of up there, not as bad, but it's still like 4 hours more than Dante. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
What we had, see here, where is what we had? What we had is finishing modes. It's around 4 hours and 3 minutes. So again, well, I'm gonna go ahead and pop all these on screen so you can kind of see what I do. Because I go through every single one. And then let me see here. Korra, I don't think Korra was bad, but again, Korra just takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to include Korra, but there are 5. I have 5 here. I will go ahead and show you guys these ones now. So yeah, Varuna. Again, like this is all the components, all the compressed time. This is the percent chances. This is the worst case scenario if you never get a part. This is your best case scenario where if you get a part, or wait, no, if you get all the parts. If you get all the parts, this is your best case scenario. So even for Varuna's best case scenario, if the numbers are still the same or not, I don't know, because Warframe is constantly updating, changing, evolving, whatever you want to call it. Growth, it's always changing. But if the numbers were what the numbers were, and they still are, then you're still looking at around 3 hours and 45 minutes at minimum time. Which I don't know. For a base Warframe, that seems ridiculous. Temple, this is everything. This is how many times that we had and all this stuff. Of course, chances are down here for each of the different chances. I'm not sure on the wave of defense because the waves defense changed a little bit. So I'm just kind of accommodating for that. But again, like your best case scenario, your worst case scenario, again, 8 hours, 6 minutes. If you have your best case scenario, which again is an hour and 1 minute, but that's like every single drop would drop right after every single drop. Same thing with Varuna. You would have to get a single drop, every single drop, and every single drop would have to be different. So it'd have to be main blueprint, and then the main blueprint would never drop again, and it would have to drop the optics next, the chassis next, and the systems next. It would have to be one right after another. It could not be, oh, let's drop the main blueprint multiple times. So that's what best case scenario is everything drops right after another, which is, I don't think is ever going to be the case unless you're super golden, on your luck and you're just like Twisted Fate and you're like, Lady Luck's on my side, and you immediately get everything right after. Then maybe, yeah. So again, Jade, everything here. Dante, everything here, as I've discussed before. Yeah, worst case 5 hours. So Dante actually wasn't bad because we had it within an hour or two. That was perfectly fine. I like this. But again, mitigating this. This is what I would love to see mitigated, because the thing is currency, how fast, how long, what's the time. It's all dependent on currency. It's never dependent on chance, because no matter whatever your chance is, you can have bad chance. Currency is a better way to go for any of this, because currency is always guaranteed. And of course, Citrine here as well. This is all, this is all my fun stuff. But again, 9 hours, 41 minutes, basically 10 hours if you get really, really bad luck. And of course, when I say best case scenario, I mean best case scenario. Everything is dropping right after one of each other. So again, this is all just like bam, bam, bam. And of course, chances are down here. All this wonderful work that I do. All right. Enough of that. I'm going to go ahead and close out of that. Boom. Back to Warframe.
All right.
Okay. Just like, this is a constant. This is not like a singular problem. This is a constant problem. Whether you're looking at Warframe, whether you're looking at, Dark Souls, if you're looking at Nier Automata, chance. I don't see chance as a very good thing, especially if, and here's the difference between semi-permanent farm and temporary farm. Semi-permanent is something like Warframe. It's an account. You can come back to it. You can farm. It'll stay within that account. It's permanent. It's locked. Same thing as when you're playing League of Legends. It's a locked account. Whenever you get a skin, whenever you get an item, it stays within your account. It resides within your account. It never goes away. When you're looking at something like Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring, any of the Dark Souls games, Nier Automata, any of those like temporary farms where it's like, hey, I play the game, but if I reset the game and I come back to the game, I'm going to have to re-farm those items. That's a temporary farm.
Well, if you go into a new game plus, you get to keep all your stuff.
You do get to keep all your stuff, but it's saying that you reset your game and you want to play the game fresh and you want to start over again.
No.
You're going to have to farm all those farms again, and that's where it's kind of a pain. And that's, again, where I come back to resources. It's better to just have resources and being able to just obtain the item. So, I mean, there is, specifically this wolf item as well. But again, like if you come over to mods, right?
Mm-hmm.
Universe, mods. Look at all of these mods, right? Oh, I'm a new player. I specifically want this one mod. Okay, well, this one mod comes at a 2% drop rate, or a 0.5% drop rate. It drops from this one unit. This one unit only spawns once in every 5 minutes. The player goes, how much time? How long until I can get that one mod? Well, it could be, you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. It could be, and look at all these mods. All these.
So many mods.
And I don't even have some of these,
I don't either.
So again, like resource or, having a flat currency, whether it be a resource or money or in-game currency, that's the best way to handle these type of transactions. I would never suggest chance unless the chance is fun, like Warframe, like the base Warframe. I'm talking about base Warframe, like base Warframes. I love base Warframe. I don't like end game Warframe because it's all just chancy. But base Warframe is excellent for what base Warframe is.
Yeah.
Like, especially, again, like when I talk about weapons or anything like this is great to get into. Base Warframe is great to start out and to play, but as soon as you start getting up into like, where we are now, and you can kind of hear my voice get old and I'm just like, oh, this is taking forever. I start growing a beard. It's because this Tenet stuff, this Kuva stuff takes so long to do. And I'd rather just play Warframe just to play Warframe and have fun. I love the Prime Farms. Do not change the Prime Farms because those are fine. Those are completely fine. I understand chance. I love chance for this. Gives you something to do, gives you something to enjoy. It is what it is. But when you come over to Kuva, the Kuva weapons and this kind of stuff, stop it. Stop it. It just takes too long,
Yeah.
And especially, it's just a reskin. I'd rather have you take your time and focus on to growing Warframe and creating new content, especially like the new, oh yes, please, yes, this, I love this. This is highly enjoyable. New content, love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Like this, especially like all the pixels, you can see the pixels and all of his central mall. Oh, this is beautiful. So, like, I love it. So cool. But then you come over to you're like, oh, this is disgusting. Please, I don't want to see it. I don't ever want to see it again. And then they dump this stuff on you, and it's like, like I would rather have you go dark, go silent for, 5 months or a year. I'd rather have you go dark for that long, and then come back to Warframe, as DE, and just be like, there's this new planet. There's these new tiles. There's this new stuff here. Whole new planet. I'd rather have a year of silence and have something come back out new, and it's easy to farm, and it's awesome, and it's maybe has an open world, but a completely, growth. New planet. Like, these planets have never really changed all that much. from 2013 to 2025. So we're talking about 12 years, you know, and I can see where there's huge improvements, and there's, you know, especially with graphics and all this other stuff. But in terms of planets and in terms of like story and evolving and creating new stuff and content, it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't happened. So that's where I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
Now I've grown a full grown beard because this is my 8 years of Warframe right here. This is me from 8 years of Warframe. I'm just kind of like, hey, you know, I have played this game.
Yeah.
Man, have I played this game. Yeah, I've taken the time to do those Kuva weapons. I have done the arduous task of doing those weapons. Now you're going to give more to me?
I've also done all of the weapons.
What's your opinion on that? Because I'm like, I grew a beard over here. I'm old man. I'm just like, oh, I can't take it no more.
It seems like an eternity.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I have no Q1s from Lith. Let's see. Do I have any L5s?
I have 2 Lith Q1s.
Okay. So I can equip whatever. There is a Lith and Exterminate.
Alright.
I'm going to go Volt. Because I promised Volt. I'm going to do Volt.
Yes.
But again, it takes away from Warframe. When you're hearing this and it's like, okay, chances and, you know, tenet weapons and Kuva and oh, I'm growing an old beard, it takes away from Warframe. What is Warframe? What is supposed to be Warframe? Warframe is supposed to be, I'm jumping off the walls, I'm jumping off the, you know, I'm like the
Yeah.
little squirrels in, what is it, Alan and the Squirrels?
Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Alvin and the there we go. Exactly. I'm supposed to be bouncing off the, this game is for ninjas. This is what Warframe is. This is what Warframe is supposed to be. You know?
Yeah.
And when I start seeing this stuff where it's like, there's this farm, there's this, and it's taking this long to do it. My beard groweth ever longer.
I only have enough to Radiant 1.
I'm thinking of some Chinese guy with a super, super long beard, and I don't know where he's from. I know he's from some movie, something like that.
I don't know either.
All right. Which,
I only have enough to Radiant 1.
oh, okay, that's fine. Let's just go for it, and then we'll just run a whole bunch of Lith. Because we need a lot of fissure points. So that is
Yeah.
what it is.
I have 63.
Oh, it's,
now,
it's some Chinese dude with a white beard. It's super, super long. Goes all the way down to the floor. And it's a fake beard. Like, later down the road, someone pulls it off, and then they go, oh, excuse me, and they put back on the beard.
Oh.
Is it Wizards of Waverly Place? Is that what I'm thinking?
I think it's Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes, love it. The original. Have they made the new Wizards of Waverly Place? Now I'm interested.
I think so.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness, that is so fast.
What? What, my speed?
So fast. Well, that and Wisp.
But this is what Warframe is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fast. It's supposed to be fast-paced. It's not supposed to be,
Stay focused.
let's take our time with it. I'd definitely say the gameplay is fast. The game, you know, for what it is. But when you're looking at farming and all this other stuff, 8 hours, 16 hours, 17 hours, you know, that definitely takes away a Warframe. And every time, plus too, I'm at the very end of the game. If this is what I think of the game, please change my mind. You know, I started a Warframe, you know, thinking I could play Equinox. I cannot play Equinox. It's not viable. I started the game. I really wanted to use the Jaw Sword, you know.
Yeah.
It's not viable. It's not a good option.
No.
That just is, you like, pick up the Jaw Sword. See if you can kill a level 120. Maybe. You know, if you mod it right, probably.
Yeah.
But again, it's not optimal. It's not to the point where it's actually a good pick. It's not meta.
No, yeah.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Oh, one thing too. Make cross-compatible skins for weapons. Warframes have cross-compatible skins. Weapons do not.
No.
So when you're looking at like Mag Prime and you want to go and, oh, I want to make it look like the base Mag, I can do that. But when you're talking about weapons, you cannot. So if like the Xiphos, we're just going to go ahead and run this a whole bunch of times to get our
The
Void Piercers back.
cursed.
Um,
Oh, I
no,
just need one more point.
the dual Zoran Prime, the new one. If you take that kind of a weapon and you go, hey, I want to change the appearance. So let's show here real quick. But if I take Volt Prime skin, I can go back to the Volt skin.
Yeah.
And I can make it look like the base Warframe. But when I take something like the Fragger Prime and I change the appearance, I can use a skin designated for the weapon. So like the Brock skin that I use all the time because it looks like Ret Krill's. But I don't have the option for the basic Fragger Prime, or for the basic Fragger. I only have the option for the Fragger Prime, which looks like the basic Fragger, but it's not.
Yeah.
So that option is not available to me. I cannot select that. But however, if you look at, let's say, the Fragger, the base, which is in market,
I
it should be in market.
think it should be in the market. Did you get another Fragor?
Maybe.
Non-prime?
So here's the Fragger Prime. It looks like that. But I can't change it. I can't change it to the basic.
No.
So again, with like the dual Zoran, as soon as I get that, I kind of want it to look like the basic Zoran, you know, how the Zoran actually looks, which is what the Sindo looks like as well. It shares the same appearance as the Sindo. But again, it doesn't allow me that option.
No.
But I'm going to show that here. So Sindo, basic Sindo, looks like that. And then you can see the resemblance there to the Sindo. But again, like the Prime doesn't look anything like it. It has some resemblance, but like even the blade is like a crescent moon.
Mm-hmm.
And this blade has that jagged edge piece on the very bottom. It looks more rhino-y than anything else, and I love that look of it.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
I'm waiting for you to stop talking.
But I love Warframe.
I know.
That's probably the main reason I can't shut up, is I love Warframe and I want the best for Warframe.
I know.
And in my, from the viewpoint that I can see Warframe, I don't see it as like what it could be, you know?
Yeah, I love Warframe as well. And like I said before, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, I love Warframe for what it is currently, but at the same time, I don't like certain aspects of it. So I do see certain aspects for the majority part of Warframe. I love the majority part of Warframe.
Yeah.
I do see, like, I can nitpick on details or whatever, but when it comes down to the actual game, you know, if I have to say yes or if I have to say no if I like the game, I'm going to say yes. Because of what the game is. Especially it being a permanent farm.
Yeah.
But again, like, if I have to come back to it, it's just like, there are problems. There are things that you can grow. There's things that you can improve. There's things that you can do. You know?
Yeah.
You can improve the system. You can improve Warframes. Even like Citrine. Like, you know, like they did such a good job on those defense missions. But like, even I feel like for Varuna could almost have a boss. You know, it's just a survival mission, right?
Yeah.
So Varuna, I could see a little bit more so of. Look at the Fragger Prime. Look at my hammer. The original Watcher.
I have a
Look at him.
dagger.
He's at peace. Like the turtle in Kung Fu Panda.
Master Oogway.
Oh yeah. I come back to Elden Ring and I start looking at things and I go, oh, there's that turtle. Oh, the turtles are so cool. Just looking at the details, it's like, Especially Warframe. Like throughout Warframe, there's so many details, and
Oh,
then it's
yeah.
like you notice something's off, and you're like, "Wait a minute, that doesn't look right." Like the fan the other day didn't look right. I'm like, I'm playing observation duty here, looking at the fan, going, "That doesn't look right. Something's changed. I don't know what it is, but something's changed."
Yeah.
Amazon, best doggo name ever.
Is it a dog or a cat? I don't know.
Nautilus.
They're all 15.
Do I have? I have 2. I have 1. I have 1.
Two,
take it.
2. I'll take another one. I have 1 and 1.
If you come down to that, though, it's just whatever you don't have the most of, and you just kind of grab to have duplicates.
Yeah. Yay, my Terminate Prime's done.
That's why when you're looking at some of these items for plat, like the price is like 10 plat or something, it's just really ridiculously low because everyone's got one.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to make plat, that's a pretty good way to do it. Especially if you actually want to sell plat. I've done it before. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
You can make some plat. But again, like when you're looking at trade prices, you want to get in there pretty low. You want to be able to sell your items for pretty low and to just do quick transactions. That way people aren't hesitating to make a sale and people aren't hesitating to use their platinum. But again, like trying to farm platinum that way is very, very difficult. It takes a very long time to do so.
Yeah.
And the best advice for platinum firsthand is just open up slots, open up your Warframe slots, weapon slots, and sit on your platinum. And then, of course, again, sit on frames, prime frames or anything like that. Really sit on them and just really wait till you get parts. And then as soon as you're like, okay, well, I just need one part of this prime, and then start there. But as a base, if you're a new starter, I would definitely start with any base Warframe. Any base Warframe will do you well. And really pick something that you really want to try. Because especially if you have to invest Forma later down the road, you don't want to be going, oh, I spent 20 Forma on this Warframe.
Yeah.
And start with some really basic mods like health, rejuvenation, see what the abilities can do. Especially for Equinox, I say like they're not useful that much. Even though they say both are female, I'm going to say they, because it's male and female. Both forms have the day and the night.
The day looks more male than female.
More masculine, I agree.
Oh.
Yeah. And I like that, because it's a duality of male and female. You know? Night and day. It looks so good.
Yes.
It has such a good duality to it. I love it. Hey! There you go.
That was my last Q1, actually.
Yeah. That's the thing for me, is not to disregard experience, because, like, I've played this game for 8 years, you know.
Yeah.
That's something that's just, like, it just kind of lives on because of the problems, but again, like, it lives on because, you know, I want to see this game where, you know, not only I enjoy it, but other people enjoy it, and especially when it takes time. You know, I can see where the disconnection is for people, where it's like, yeah, this takes too much time. I don't want to spend this much time on one game. I'd rather play Dark Souls. And I agree, because Dark Souls is such a good game. You can play the game within way shorter amount of time and be able to get the things that you want to get and get better at the game.
Yeah.
You know? Dark Souls has really a good place right now for me. I love Dark Souls 3. I'm starting to get why people like Elden Ring. It's like, even though it's kind of copy paste, you know, you look at the game for what it is. It is good. You look at the details. You know, Melania can get cheesed.
Okay.
You can cheese Melania. I've seen several different things by now, and I go, oh, there is some viability there. I don't see any viability for melee, though.
No.
That's why I'm kind of like, I get kind of hung up on the melee part, but
I
at
like
the same
my
time,
dragon.
yeah, at the same time, you can use other weapons, and I can see more versatility in Elden Ring scaling wise versus Dark Souls, where you have more opportunity to do different things that you want to do with it. So, especially when you're looking at the stats and leveling and everything else like that, it's more streamlined. I can see that now. So there might be more Elden Ring left in us than what I previously
Keep
thought.
moving. None of this
Yeah.
has protected you.
But yeah, Melania is more so I believe in my mind is just cheese it. Use something that's really good versus her. Because if you're just bad at like timing or trying to, you know, roll underneath of her or anything else like that,
Yeah.
it is not worth it.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful
Especially if you just want to play the game. Melania for me was like, what?
She was really tough for you.
Oh yeah. I can see where other people struggle with it too. It's not uncommon to have problems with her. It is a really hard one.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Goss.
Hello, Goss. I am Goss.
I'll take that. So yeah. So yeah, I know this stream has kind of had a rocky start, but again, like, there are some things I definitely don't agree with.
Yeah.
I really want Warframe to be like a ninja, you know, fast, jumping around, samurai, slashing things.
Ninja.
Yeah, last thing you want is just to be sitting here going, when's this farm going to be over?
Yeah.
That I just don't agree with. It's not going to draw a lot of audience.
Mm-mm.
It's just not.
There's a miso exterminate, but we don't need anything in miso.
Zeko! Ah, I have to do Zeko next.
Uh,
I have to cut her Zeko too.
yes.
That won't be fast anymore.
Mine is not done yet.
Especially though if you're doing void traces and you get a new warframe or weapon or whatever, it is more advantageous to just run it like Soulgale you're doing currently.
Yeah.
That is a lot easier to do that.
Use these to crack open a relic. You found a fissure. Look out for reactant. The corrupted enemies are dropping reactant. Collect it to open your void. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic. Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching. Well done, Tenno.
So yeah, especially if you're going to be running the void traces or void fissures and you've got a warframe that you would need to level up. Especially with this low level, you can easily run it quickly enough.
Yeah.
Using a warframe that's new or weapons that are new.
Broken their ranks.
In fact, I should probably do this.
Another successful mission. Find extraction.
But if you're doing high level stuff, you're going to need something different.
Yeah.
See, at this point, I don't even care what people have on. I just run it because I need the traces.
Yeah.
So we could have actually the potential to get a part, but I just don't pay attention to it.
Nagasaki.
There
I
is
call
the
it Nagasaki.
Forma, but I've got enough Forma.
Yeah.
Ducats, especially when the Void Trader's near. I'm going to stock up on those.
Oh yeah, he is expensive.
Yeah. And we're doing really, really good so far. So
Yeah.
hopefully we're not missing a lot of frames. Hopefully we're doing pretty good.
Oh, I got 9 minutes left on my Zeku.
I got Zeko. Hold on. I got cutter. I like the alert. Hey, you got a new Warframe.
Yeah.
Alright.
An unexpected color
And then
combination, operator. My
we're gonna go
sensors are
here.
bleeding.
Boop.
Please.
Boop. Let's do... Ooh, that would be good. So this looks like Orcan Wall. We're gonna change that. That looks good. We'll go for a black for here. Just making it look like the void, because everything from the prime is always void.
Yes.
Smoke. Let's go. There we go. Okay.
Ready to kick bottom.
Wow, do we need a short break? Okay. So corrosive projection is pretty good. Really depends what you're going for. My favorite is actually going to be the steel charge. Really depends what you're going for, but especially V polarity gives you like Deadeye or any rifle amp, so it just really increases your weapon damage. Some enemies are completely immune to a armor strip. I don't know about Archons. Archons could or could not, but I usually just go for a V polarity. But since this is negative, it is a prime, so if eventually I wanted to actually upgrade this with Forma, I could, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to use Zeku or not. So a lot of the time for Warframes, it's more if they're actually useful or not. Lavos in this case is going to be more useful for me than Zeku, because for Lavos is able to reduce cooldowns with his one ability, which makes it so that if you're using Golden Instinct, it will reduce Golden Instinct's cooldown, which then you can use that to be able to farm more expensive items.
Which the Ostrons call Ito.
Wolf Sledge.
You may also never form a consonant again, but at least you will not be dead.
Yes. And any questions in the chat? I haven't seen a lot of people in the chat, but any questions are more than welcome. So if you got any questions at all, as long as I can read them, because a lot of the time YouTube is unfiltered, so it'll just send me things, and sometimes I won't have a chance to actually glance over it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's 6 minutes left on Zeku.
So corrosive projection for this isn't bad. If you want energy back, especially beginning, energy siphon isn't bad. If you want to be able to see loot on your minimap, loot detector, just depends what you usually go for. But what I definitely like, what I liked early when I started the game was actually rejuvenation. Rejuvenation was actually really good because it keeps you alive.
Yeah.
Not a lot of healing for a lot of Warframes. And then as soon as I started getting later into the game, I actually went for Arcane Guardian and Arcane Energize. The new Reaper is actually better, but I haven't had the chance to get it up. It's actually pretty difficult to get up because it's dependent on what's in the Zeramon or not. So that's kind of like whenever you can get a hold of it. But yeah, especially early rejuvenation. Later, I really like to go Steel Charge because most of the time I'm going melee. Depends on if you're going to go melee or if you like the guns in the game. Depends on how you play the game. Okay. So, because Umbras take so much slot space, 16 versus Vitality.
Oh, yeah.
If you're going to use any frame, this is going to be easily 4 less capacity. You want to use these, especially because you have the deep polarities, and especially early, if you're starting out early. Shield capacity is highly usable, especially if you're starting out the game early. I would highly suggest going full shields versus going health in a lot of the cases. Because if you go shields, when you have shields and you up your base shield rate, deflection, even though this reduces shield recharge delay and increases shield recharge, when you put more maximum shields on, it increases how fast your shields actually regen as well. So having more maximum shields is actually greater than fast deflection for shield recharge. So as it says here, shields recharge at a rate of 51.8 per second. If I take this mod off, it will reduce the shield recharge to 28.2. So this is actually greater than fast deflection. So this is at 51.8, but if I put this on, it'll be only at 53. So good thing to know. It will reduce the shield recharge delay, which will add back in your invulnerability time when your shields go down. But I do prefer primed redirection over something like fast deflection. So again, any questions on just kind of like basic stuff? I like to answer basic questions. If I've already answered it, I'll probably refer back, but most of the time I'll probably try to answer as many questions as I can, depending on if I've answered them already or if I haven't, and try to give summary answers, because a lot of questions take a lot of time to answer. Sometimes they're kind of complicated answers too.
Oh yeah.
So it just depends on what it is. Looking at Prime.
What, are you ready?
Yeah, and Fragger Prime is one of my favorites. Fragger Prime is one of my favorites. Duration. Flow is really, really good, especially for base. Prime Sure-Footed is actually really, really good. It keeps you from getting knocked down, so I'm actually going to choose that. And then we're going to go with the base flow. Streamline is also really, really good, especially early too. Depends on if you're having to cast your abilities more often than not, or if you have a channeling ability. Streamline can be really, really effective. I'm also, I know there's a Prime Streamline waiting for it.
I wish.
Yeah, so Prime Streamline actually was in the Chinese version of Warframe, which went from 30% ability efficiency to 55%, but is not in the US versions of Warframe.
Aww.
As far as I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, there used to be one at 55% in the Chinese version. As far as I know. So yeah.
Oh, that would be lovely.
And then of course, for something like the Trauma, I forgot to go over this, but when you put on Serration, Serration ups your base damage. Why I go primed cryo rounds is because primed cryo rounds adds damage on a base to the weapon. And then when you put Serration on, Serration multiplies primed cryo rounds, the base damage. So if I took off Serration right there, you'll see that the damage is 193 for the elemental. And then if we put on Serration, the damage goes up for the blast as well. So it adds more to base status damage, which status damage is actually raw damage. There is status effect, but status damage still applies here as well, regardless if you proc the status chance or not. So, and then multi-shot. When you're looking at multi-shot also adds multiplicative damage as well. So it also ups the total damage as well. And the reason why it doesn't show the multiplied damage here for multi-shot on the blast damage is I believe it has to stack up, but it does also affect the blast total damage as well. So this gets, the cold damage gets multiplied by Serration, and then after Serration, it also gets multiplied by Galvanized Chamber. So you have 3 good, really base damage mods multiplying into each other, which is a really good idea, as far as I understand. Status weapons, to me, I don't like status. I like the critical, because criticals have way higher damage. Way higher damage. Especially the currently broken Magistar. Alright.
Oh yeah.
I'm ready.
Well, are you finally ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I just like explaining things.
I know.
I like explaining things. I like knowing how things work. Oh, Especially if you're new to a game and you're like, where do I start? I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Can someone please explain it? I don't understand it.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing. Void fissures.
Especially for criticals.
But are you confident
Like
you can
critical
withstand
or
the
chances and like what's given, those things are more
Defend
complicated
yourself and use
to understand. But when you start understanding them, it's kind of like,
corrupted foes
oh.
dropping reactant. Use it to crack open
And some people have a different perspective on what chance is and if they like chance or not, and other people don't like chance. It just completely depends on your perspective if you like it or not.
Yeah.
Sometimes people have a better point of view on what chance is. Some people have a brighter opinion of it, and some people just have a darker opinion of it.
Another successful mission. Find extraction.
That was fast because I am Equinox.
I just generally see the darker side of it because not everyone. Wow, Zeku Prime on Zeku.
Wow.
I just generally see the dark. Do we need a Cedo Prime stock? Or no?
No,
Okay.
we have it already.
I was
We
wondering
need
if
the main blueprint.
Okay, I was just wondering if we needed two or one.
Executed.
But I generally see the darker side of chance because you could just have a player that rolls the dice really poorly. Like I said, a John Arbuckle. You could have a John Arbuckle that just cannot roll the dice for the life of them. You know, they're playing Monopoly and they always roll a 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe is advantageous at some points. I could actually see where Monopoly rolling a 1 actually is advantageous. And at the same time, even like I'll play Mario Party and I'll actually grab a cursed dice and curse myself because I want to roll a 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Because it can be advantageous just to roll a 1 or a 3. But when you're taking it into a chance game like this where it has rewards, the higher the number you drop and the higher chances. And if you're a John Arbuckle, it does not have a good advantageous to have chance in something like this. Because some people are going to have a very good advantage because they have really good luck. And it's just dependent on the dice.
Yeah.
And other people aren't. It's going to be the same thing as if in D&D, if you have bad luck. Like some players, for the life of them, they will always roll a nat 1. And most of the time, it's like they will always roll a nat 1. And that's where like the actual dungeon master will have to be like, okay, there has to be a pity system here because this one player is always just rolling a nat 1. It is insane, like, you know, the amount of nat 1s they'll roll. You know, so they'll have to
Yeah.
up the pity system for that one player because the player doesn't have a very good, you know, luck roll, or maybe it's just their mood that they just have a very negative mood or whatever. And you're trying to just, you know, make the person's day better by having a kind of pity system. But at the same time, a game based upon chance isn't a very good game if it's reward based. If dependent on the dice, if you win, if you roll 1s all the time, it's not fun to go to a casino and always roll 1.
No.
Are you coloring Zeku?
Yes.
Is he so prettified?
He will be.
And the Dark Dagger. Have you not done the Dark Dagger yet?
No.
Really?
I just rebuilt the Dark Dagger.
Oh, I love the Dark Dagger. Dark Dagger's good.
Yeah, I just rebuilt the Dark Dagger. Will not take me long to color Zeku.
Even like a Game of Life. Even Game of Life can be pretty bad.
Yeah.
Trying to think of what kind of board games that you can play without dice.
Without dice?
Yeah, I would actually kind of come back to like a card game.
Uh-huh.
If you haven't heard of it, Pigs and Jokers. Because no matter whatever your hand is, you have a randomized hand, yes, but you have multiple options to play from, and all the options can be advantageous.
Yeah.
So even in games like Pigs and Jokers or something like that, it's less random, and even like sequence. Sequence is always what card do you want to place? You know, what chance do you have? You know,
Yeah. All right, I'm done.
I'm ready.
Doesn't take me long.
Probably one of the best games that has ever been developed is probably actually chess.
Ah.
Because there's always something to learn in chess.
Oh
There's
yeah.
always things that you can improve on. It's just chess doesn't have visuals, it doesn't have graphics, it doesn't have guns.
Doesn't have guns.
You need guns for the game to be interesting.
Uh,
Corrupted enemies are dropping reactant. Collect it to open the void. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic.
I love this. This Tremina is actually pretty good for me. I would actually put on blast radius for this thing.
oh.
Because it reminds me of like the Kuvik Rattler. That's a really good weapon.
Yeah.
Your relic is opened.
When I dash, some parts of me stay behind,
Yes.
which I don't think is very good.
No.
It's a kind of odd medical condition.
Broken their ranks and they are on the run.
Oh, do you like my colors?
Find extraction.
Yes.
You haven't even seen my colors.
No. But I will like them anyway.
Uh-huh.
Where are your colors? Purple, white, and is it gold?
Gold, two different things of purple and gold.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah. Rhino.
Hey, that's a pretty rare one.
Yeah. Oh. Somebody's a founder.
Another job well executed.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet. I wish I was a founder as well.
Yeah, but it would be like at the very start of Warframe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, excuse me.
You're excused.
So Founder, for those that don't know, Founder is when a player back in 2013 bought the Founder Pack. And the Founder Pack is by cash, but it was the Founders Pack was to help support Warframe in its early birth and its first development stages. And that really helped getting Warframe on its feet to get Warframe going. So for the Founder Pack, when you buy the Founder Pack, you would get Excalibur Prime, is it Lato Prime or Lato Prime?
Lato Prime and Skana Prime.
And the Skana Prime. So you would get those items. And after that point, it has never been released since. So currently in the game, it is unobtainable. Even for me.
Yeah.
Unless I go back in time and I can get the Founder Pack, there is no way for me to get the Founder Pack. Which I'm not actually saying that's a bad thing. I'm actually saying that's a pretty good thing. To a point.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
Wait, how do I... Oh, I can't switch. Yeah.
I know some people would like to have the Prime come back, and other people don't know on that topic, and they say no, it's better not to have it come back.
The relic has been cracked open.
It depends on your point of view, because for me, like, oh yeah, I would definitely love to have the Prime. You know, Excalibur Prime and Skana Prime. Skana Prime would probably be my favorite out of anything.
Yeah.
or even having Excalibur. Which isn't Excalibur and Umbra the same stats?
Yes.
Yeah, they should have special stats for Excalibur Prime. That Excalibur does something really, really well. But, yeah. I think I've talked about that before, too, with Excalibur being better
Yeah.
than what he currently is. Which he should be really, really good. It should be to the point of breaking. Tremina, Prime Stock.
Hey, we already built the Terminado,
Oh.
but we can get it.
Yeah, I'm going to take another one, because who cares about the 2x Pharma when this is rare?
Yeah.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
That's pretty good. But yeah. I don't know whether or not I would prefer it to actually get dropped. Of course, I would like to actually have Excalibur Prime, Skana Prime, and Leto Prime? Or
Yes.
yeah,
Lato.
Leto Prime. But again, like, there is some error to secrecy. Because when you look at, like, primes or anything else like that, it really feels good when you get a prime. And I really don't like where they give away primes for free. And, you know, you can't make it an exception for one player and just be like, oh, one player can get, you know, something and then everyone else can't. It's like, if it hasn't been invaulted or, you know, released since 2013,
There is a large
don't
platoon
release it.
near Marine Station
You know,
here. Leave no one
I actually
stranded.
kind of like that.
Watch out.
Yeah.
To me, in my eyes, that actually makes sense, and I actually would keep it where it is.
A fisher. Defend yourself and use reactant to
However, I can say though that for people that have played the game for X amount of time, I don't know.
forget the reactant.
So, you know, it kind of depends on what DE's thinking there, but I could see something, maybe, potentially, that you could do.
Stay focused. There's a heavy unit approaching.
But again, I wouldn't just be handing it out like free candy.
No, yeah.
I actually do not like the free candy aspect when they start handing out primes or, you know, like the wolf sledge or something like that. You should be able to work for it. And you should feel that sense of accomplishment of actually getting something. It shouldn't just be freebies.
No, yeah.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
I am enchanted.
Oh,
What's the button for multiple guns? I gotta find the button. Is that the fourth ability?
I'm not sure. To be honest. I don't know much about Zeku.
They add in so many Warframes too.
Yeah.
Alright. I might take as well take
They're
the Pharma.
all 15.
Yeah.
Mission complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
The main thing I see for like the main problem in not only just Warframe but all games is just story. Just being able to slap story together and get the story going for the game or anything else like that.
Yeah.
And delaying story is one of the worst things that you can do because you just don't have fluid story. You don't have a good story at all. And when you have a story, you need to just cannonball it and get it going and get it out the door, you know, and actually make the story and especially have a plan for the story and where the story's going to go, what's going to happen with the story and everything else like that. And
Yeah.
when you look at Warframe or Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, a few of these others, just piecing together the story and actually creating a good story, a lot of them have a hard time to do that.
Yeah.
especially Legend of Zelda, like they're all over the place. You've got so many different games that don't make a lot of sense when you look at them conjoined. But when you're looking at the games individually, especially if you're looking at like Link's Awakening, that's a really good game. Ocarina of Time, really good game. The game itself, just being able to play the game is enough. It's really good. So even though Legend of Zelda doesn't have very good story,
There is a large
their
blister
games are
of
really good.
train stations
Just
here.
being able to
No
play one
one
of the
standing.
games, because of the puzzle aspect, because of Legend of Zelda as it is.
Confident you can
It's
withstand
just
it.
really good. I don't see the Breath of the Wild being as good as some of those older games.
Yeah. We played Breath of the Wild.
One I really want to come back to and maybe play potentially, I don't know, but is the
There's a heavy unit approaching.
Zelda, the new Zelda one. That's you play as Zelda?
Echoes?
Yeah, Echoes. That actually seemed pretty fun.
Yeah.
That actually seemed like, hey, that's kind of puzzle, kind of Minecraft as well, but I like it.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
I'm so fast.
I'm not fast at all.
All right.
They're all 15.
Yeah.
I have
I'm gonna
one.
take Atlas, but
I only have one of the Atlas.
yeah.
I'm getting kind of hungry.
You're getting kind of hungry.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of hungry. Actually, my stomach is growling.
Yeah, mine is too. You okay for another 15 and we call it good from there? Because I could go for a little bit more, but yeah, I am getting started to get kind of hungry too.
Yeah, I can go. I can last for
Wait
another
until
15.
my stomach turns into a monster and it's like, I gotta eat everything.
You're gonna be a hungry bear.
Yeah. Uh, no. So I can nitpick on Warframe here and there, and that's just kind of me, kind of my experience. It's just certain things that I don't like, and it's mainly kind of aired to new players. Like I could say, hey, I've got everything. It wasn't that hard or what. No, it was pretty hard. It was, it was difficult to get to this point, and I don't like it that it was that difficult.
Yeah.
And especially if there's other players that are taking the time to do this as well, it is an accomplishment, and just giving things out for free is not funny, in my opinion.
No.
I've worked hard, other people have worked hard to get here, even to the point of Excalibur Prime. Excalibur Prime, that is what it is. He shouldn't be unvaulted for that reason, and that reason alone. Because other people paid real money back when development started, and it's just something that you encapsulate at that point in time and go, that's something that's sacred. You don't touch that.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I love that.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
But when you're talking about getting new players to play the game, and you need to lighten up, with the 8-hour farms and 16-hour farms and the 17-hour farm.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be able to have people play the game and have a good time, not drain their time. Because it's fun enough as it is. You don't need to make it so straining. So straining.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Another 15. They're all 15.
There's a samurai sword.
I have 2 of those. Oh, that's fine. I can get
I don't
another
like
one.
the fans.
No, I don't either. I only have one of the fans, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
take another sword.
I'm going to take the samurai sword. That's actually not that bad. When you're playing Deveri, I love the samurai sword.
Yeah.
I love Warframe though for that part. Like they added in Deveri, that was a good. I love like the Evergalls, the little owls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are fun. I
love
love
the
the
little
new
owls.
content. New content is always good, but again, like when they retextured like the old corpus tile sets and they got rid of the old corpus tile sets,
Mm-hmm.
man, I miss that. You know, because
Yeah.
it's content. No matter whatever you think, and no matter whatever you know, it's something that's kind of a part of me now. And then you rip that away, and it's like, oh man, I miss that. I
Yeah.
remember that. I'm a part of the member berry. I'm sorry, but I miss that. Those were the good times. You know, there's some things that you can definitely say, oh, okay, I'm better off without that. You know, I'm better off with the new colors of the void. They've
Uh-huh.
retextured that. That looks really good. But man, I do miss some things.
Yeah.
You
Wow.
know.
Gosh, you are killing things.
I do like the new Hollivanda though. That is, I love that. That's probably my favorite out of any of the places that have been new.
Yeah.
It's funny too because it's the newest thing and I love it. I love it. Oh, you know what would be good?
Oh.
You need to make Equinox in the new area. But you need to make it male and female. I would love that. If it's female and female, I'm going to be sorely disappointed.
Yeah.
Even though they're like, oh, it's female. It is, to me, it's male and female. I don't care what you say.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Nautilus. I already have so many strands. I have 3 of those.
I have 3 strands as well. I have 2 Nautilus.
Wouldn't that be cool? That would be so cool, you know.
Yeah.
Have the female making cookies and have the male just be like sipping tea, you know. Helping making the cookies. She's like, you're in the way of the kitchen. No, I'm not. I'm helping.
Are you sure about
No, but I'm helping.
that? Are you sure about that?
Yes. You know, I love cookies.
Uh-huh.
Just have the conversation just go like that. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, shall I call you the Cookie Monster?
Yes. Wow.
Are you a Cookie Monster?
And she pulls them out of the oven. And she's like, "Oh, I don't have any pot holders or whatever you call them. The
Pot
hand
holders?
Yeah. Is it really?
Pot holder.
Okay. Yeah. There's no pot holders, and he just goes in there, bare hands, no safety at all. Grabs the pan right out of the oven. You don't need pot holders. What do you need pot holders for?
So you're not severely burned?
You do it quick enough, then you don't get burned.
I don't think so.
Oh, ow, hot.
There's not gonna be anything quick enough about that.
That would be amazing, though, to see Equinox. That would be awesome. You know, male and female form right there. That would be awesome. That would be so cool. What would be even better is have the, you know, I believe they removed prime drops out of the rare and the reinforced crates.
Yeah, they did.
It takes out the significance of finding those crates. Really have them drop the prime parts again. To me, that would make sense.
3, 4, 5.
Oh boy, I'll give you some if you give me some.
Is that yours? Wait, which one's yours?
That one, yep.
This one?
Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I've got enough fang. I'm good for another form. That would be awesome if DE is just like, yeah, let's add that in. Because, yeah, me to you, yeah, the same thing.
Huh?
Male, it's have male for the day and female for the night.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I would say the day looks more male.
I love it though, because it's just super, super cool.
Yeah. Ugh.
Just have it on like the opposite side of the bar. You know, there's like a little stove over there. They're just cooking cookies or bread. You know, just have them rotate between things that they do. You know,
Or cake.
or cake. Yeah.
Pie, cake, cookies.
Ooh, apple pie.
Ooh, apple pie doesn't sound bad. I love apple pie.
Just like in the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But
Uh-huh.
she puts Grumpy on the pie. Yeah,
That's gooseberry pie.
there's gooseberry pie.
That's gooseberry.
Ah.
Well done, Tenno.
The old stuff, like you can never. It's so good, so good.
Yeah.
Now Snow White is making my mouth drool.
I'm even more hungry now.
Yes. Now we need to start talking about tarts and steak.
Oh,
It's a juicy steak.
very juicy. I want steak. Darn you.
Ah, nothing like a juicy steak, you know.
It's really good.
Ah, ooh,
Prime
Hystrix.
receiver. I don't
Yeah.
got one of those.
I'm about ready to go eat in 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Another job well executed.
I would also like to get my weapons up. Because I
Yeah.
have an affinity booster.
Oh, that's why you're so fast on leveling.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to abuse that affinity booster.
There's a capture in Neo.
Oh.
Let's see here.
Do I have any more Neos?
I have D9 too.
I have one D9, I think.
I have 300, so I can only do 3.
D9. I have one D9, and I have, I think, one C6. Yeah, I have one C6.
We have everything for the Ceto, but the Ceto's at 10%.
We need the main blueprint.
Oh, and this is the dual Zoran Prime. I really want the dual Zoran Prime blade.
Well, then let's go.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. I have 2 of those.
I have one.
Really want the dual Zoran.
Yeah.
We only need 1 blade left.
Yep. We only need one blade.
Oh, and I love that they changed it from a 3 times multiplier to 3.1, which is the highest currently.
Ha.
But again, like the Fragger Prime, I really wish they did something with that, because like it is slow and it not having as much damage as something like the Magistar really sucks.
Yeah.
I would rather have Incarnons or even Arcanes or something like that do minor things to frames than major things.
Yeah.
Like just restore energy, you know, or do small things like that. Just as a utility. Because Arcanes and everything else just really change the game. Really make the frames overpowered.
Yeah.
Finish your mission to find out what's inside. Mission complete. A captive has been escorted to the extraction point. Well done.
Ooh, banana bread.
Ooh, banana bread. That doesn't seem bad.
Banana bread. I love banana bread.
Oh, yeah. There's also zucchini bread.
Any food makes you hungry.
Yes.
Especially with how rare a drop rate those contain. Why is it not showing anything? Huh. Especially with how rare reinforced crates are, or rare crates. Definitely put them alongside the main path. I could definitely see that.
And I have 2 Fang Primes.
You know what you could do? Rare crates could just be like common items, and then reinforced could be like super rare items, like specifically because of how low the drop chance is of it.
Mm-hmm.
You could just have it like it just drops a rare item, whatever's in current rotation, the rarest item. And then the rare crate being a little bit more common, but not so common, could be like pretty easy parts to get a hold of to silver tier parts to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But the reinforced how rare that is, yeah, just put it at gold.
Do you want to do another one?
Oh, yeah.
Alright. And then I can do mine.
See if we get it.
Hopefully.
Took a long while to wait to even get Lisette Prime.
We received
Oh,
intel
yeah.
that somebody
I
vital
remember
to enemy
that.
operations is here. Find them and capture them. Void fishers. You need them to open a relic, but are you confident you can withstand their fury? A fisher. Defend yourself.
Okay,
Use
yeah,
the weapon to
okay.
open relics.
It's your second ability that gives you the
Open a relic.
guns.
How many D1s do you have? Or D9s do you have?
Target located.
I only have 1 D9.
Okay. You want to just run it and then call it good?
Focused.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Approaching. We cannot let
Because
our
my
target
tummy's
know we're
rumbling.
here. Track
My stomach's been rumbling.
Yeah.
That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside. Excellent work. We'll interrogate the captive back at base. Your part is done here.
I need to put more duration on these guns.
Help!
Help.
I'm naked.
Oh.
Look at me, I'm naked.
Well, look at me.
I look like, what do you call that in science when you look at the muscular, then you have this, the cardiovascular system.
Oh. The skeletal?
Yeah,
You look like, yeah, you are a skeleton.
yeah. I lost my outer layers. Everyone can see my insides. I'm so exposed. Hey, there we go.
Hey, there we go. That's the last thing.
And an early munch for us, right?
Yes. I'm on it, right?
I'm on it too.
Alright, I'm on it.
Hey, that's a good way to end.
Great work. I hope
Woohoo!
Oh, I can't wait for that. It'll be ready tomorrow. 12 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And we got another L5, so that takes care of the D9.
Ooh.
So we have 1 Neo left and 2 Leth, and that's it.
Yeah. 2 Lith and 1 Neo.
The window is closing fast.
Yes.
All right. And then the Kuva weapons, which the Kuva weapons,
The
the new Cedo weapons, yeah.
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 The tech rot. I'm just gonna call him tech rot.
Yeah, which I don't even know
No. Yeah.
if I'm going to be like up for days of. See, like Prime stuff, like only took us like 4 streams, you know?
Yeah.
We're already almost there.
Oh.
I mean, it's still too rare, so it could still be a while. But again, like,
Yeah.
not bad. So we got Lavos Prime Systems, and then we need the Cedo main blueprint,
Yep.
which Cedo is in Lith.
Cedo is in Neo.
Oh, Neo. So that is the C6.
Yep.
Oh, we have 3 relics left, right? So Cedo,
Yeah.
and then the L5.
L5. I have one L5 now. I have one Cedo, one C6,
And then a Lith Q1.
and then I don't have any Lith Q1s.
Which are all rare, which has a 10% chance of dropping, which a 1 out of 10 is 1 in 10. So if we take all those chances and combine them together, it's actually going to be 1 in 1,000th chance
Yeah.
to get all 3 of them.
Oh, that's gonna be a pain, but at least we got the dual Zorin going.
Yeah. But again, like, you just have to take it one thing at a time and just go for 1 relic and eliminate 1 set of relics. So I always start with Axie, because Axies have a chance to give Neo relics. Then you go Neo relics, and then you from Neo relics you go to, when you're flushed out of Neo relics, you go to Meso relics. When you're flushed out of Meso, go to Lith, because every single tier goes down from there. So Axie gives Neo relics give Mesos, and Meso relics give sometimes Lith relics. And I'm going to say sometimes on every single one of these, because sometimes they do and sometimes they don't drop those relics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's awesome. I can't wait for this.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be awesome. And I'm probably going to do Forma on this. All Forma. Because, I mean, I've done the dual Dark Swords before. I really liked those. I really enjoyed those. Dual Kama's Trinity's weapons as well. Really, really enjoyed those. It's actually probably one of the ones that I've probably used quite a bit often as well. Starting. Tipido Prime, I actually prefer the basic Tipido over the Tipido Prime. So that's actually a case where I'll actually prefer a basic weapon versus something that's a primed variant.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tipido still has my heart on it, especially the range of the weapon and the speed of the weapon. Really, really good weapon. Even starting is a really good weapon.
Now get out there and
Well,
Cut down the
is that all the time that we have?
Lotus Cloud.
Unfortunately, yes.
And we will see you guys in the very next video. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I forgot.